Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Mr. KC?
Doing good, man. I'm ready for the season.
Are you?
I hope the guys are, too, because, man, we got a tough division this year.
Yeah. Well,
really tough, unlike the Cardinals.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just teasing. Hey, we have a full house with us today. We've got Mike Schweikardt, designated broker, Tony Lee, managing broker, both with ProSmart Realty, and Sarah Blodgett, loan officer with Starboard Financial. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
How's everything? We staying cool?
No,
Trying.
No,
we're not.
the walk from the car to the front door was difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hey, we want to give a big shout out to Jeremy Eaton also for Security Title getting you on the show here. So thanks, Jeremy. He's a cool dude.
Sue, too. Sue
Yeah,
as well.
good guy.
Yeah, Sue is awesome. Even more awesome than Jeremy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Debbie Marquez and Mary Jane.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic people.
Awesome.
We've got a deal closing
Yeah,
with
I
Debbie
agree.
right now.
I agree. Sue's cooler. We won't send this to Jeremy. So
No.
anyway, hey, why don't we start with you all introducing yourself? Basically, what got you into real estate, how long you've been in it, and then Sarah, after the guys go, you can share how long you've been in mortgage business and what got you into it.
Perfect.
Go ahead, T.
I'm a managing broker for ProSmart Realty. My name is Tony Lee. I've been in license for about 21, almost 22 years. Mike and I are friends. We grew up together and just happened to run into Mike at a seminar for housing and chatted, we reconnected, started hanging out again, and brought up the idea of, hey, maybe me getting in and Mike kind of mentoring me. And so I jumped in and started off slow, worked as kind of his assistant.
Real slow.
Trying to get my feet wet and learn the business from the inside. And things went well, and we've been working together for over 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah,
20 years. Wow.
Yeah.
We've been friends for about 40 years, and we grew up in Chandler together. I got into real estate 29, almost 30. Next February it'll be 30 years. I can't believe it myself. It's been that long. Realty executives, and I was there for 15, 16 years under John Foltz, who I love and adore. Tell him it as often as I can, and then started ProSmart Realty 14, 15 years ago.
Right when the market crashed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, February 2008. So
Wow.
we cut our teeth starting ProSmart during a tough time, but it just made us better people.
Started ProSmart at the beginning of 08.
Yeah, February 2008. The world was crumbling.
We
walking
like to
into
do
walls.
things difficult, Jeff.
But that's
Yeah, I'm going to say, wow. Wow.
But it's been, you got your bumps, but you learn from them, and you just continue to grow. And it's even more rewarding when you do it with people that you know and love and grow up with, and surround yourself with good people. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. So with starting at that time, obviously, if you could make it through the rest of 08, right? Going into
This
the
is
beginning
cake,
of 09,
yeah,
then you can
this-
make it through anything.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
exactly.
adjustment we're going through right now, the change in the real estate market is great. People think that the sky's falling, but we went from 300 miles an hour to 200 miles an hour, and it's not falling. It just slowed up a little bit, but we're still speeding. I tell everybody we went from piping red hot to just red hot,
exactly.
Yeah.
but it's still
Wow.
rocking and rolling,
All right.
especially here in Arizona. Just to get the realtors have to adjust their sales. That's all. Because if they keep doing things the same way
Yeah.
that they've always done them, then they're going to be falling behind. Like I said yesterday, we had a meeting yesterday, and it's like the old buggy whip example. Who's making buggy whips anymore? Nobody.
But just like we had to adjust our sales when we started ProSmart in 08, because everything was a short sale. A lot of people didn't understand short sales. So we had to get in there and dig our heels in and learn and get good at it. And we survived and we thrived. And ProSmart has just gotten better and better every year since.
Yeah, we've never recruited. We've truly grown on our values and our low fee structure. And we've got about 230 realtors now. And I think we're the only brokerage that doesn't recruit. Everybody has to fill out a qualifying questionnaire to even join.
That's great. That's great. But you definitely have stayed the course, for sure. So and grown a big brokerage there. I saw several offices now across the valley now,
Yeah,
right?
we've got 4 or 5 offices, and we've aligned ourselves a while back with security. We've recently recently aligned ourselves with Starboard and Sarah and a few of the other loan officers there. And when you do that, it's like a recipe for success, really.
Put strong people in our corner.
Yeah.
Right, Sarah?
Speaking of strong
Absolutely.
people, Sarah, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm Sarah Blodgett with Starboard Financial. I've grown up in the industry, so if you count the time that I worked in the closing department when I was 15 in the summers, I've been doing this a little over 25 years. So I work for my family's company, and a little bit of closing, a little bit of processing, underwriting, and I've been originating for 10 years actually this month.
I thought you were about 20, 25 years old.
I wish. I'll be 38 this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have no shame about my age. As long as I stay looking about 30, I'm good. I'll tell people I'm 90 for all I care. But no, I love it. I get to work with family, and Mike and Tony, they're like family too. So as Mike said, that's really the recipe for success is doing what you love, and you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I know it's cliche, but it's
it's
true.
true.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I've always operated. Is I never save anything for the swim back, and I love what I do because I love making a difference.
When you surround yourself with people that you can lean on, and they can lean on you too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It just makes everything much easier, especially when you hit a wall or a scenario that comes up that you've never had before.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can talk to somebody around you that you get honest feedback with.
Yep.
And, your father's one of those people.
He
You
is.
talk to him about anything and get some honest feedback.
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah.
Blodgett.
Yeah. And people see that. They feel that, and they gravitate towards that. And I think, I have relationships where I haven't met them yet. And going on 5-10 years now, and I feel like I know them, and we could pick up a conversation any day. We meet in person. I had actually a real estate agent that I've worked with for 7 years now up in northern Arizona. Finally had the opportunity to meet, and it just no different.
Nice.
So, and same thing with clients too. It's just my clients are my friends,
Yeah.
and
They become part of your family.
they are,
Yeah.
and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what? So Sarah, before we move off you, what the heck's going on with interest rates?
That's a great question.
That's what everybody wants to know.
I know. And the good news is it's not forever. This isn't the way it's going to be. It's really, just an inflationary impact, temporary. If you look back at history, what you will see is, give or take, every 12 to 18 months after the Fed hikes rates, you're going to see those rates drop back down. So I don't have a crystal ball, but if I had to make a guess, I would say sometime mid 2023, maybe towards the fall, we should be back in the 4s. Fed's got maybe 2 to 3 more rate hikes. So usually it's that 12 to 18 months after that last rate hike is where you're going to start to see a little bit of relief. So what I've been telling all my clients is, if you need to find a home, if you're looking for a place to live, there's no reason to wait. No one's ever said, I'm so glad I waited after finding their dream home, because that dream home wouldn't have been there if they went and bought it. So yes, they're a little bit higher, but in the greater scheme of things, no different than where they were at the tail end of the recession in 2008, and look where they went after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'm curious if someone says, "Oh, the Feds raised the rates,"
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean for mortgages?
That's a really good question too. So it's not a direct correlation. It's more an impact on installment debt or credit cards. However, it does have an indirect impact on mortgage rates.
Okay.
So again, you're not going to see, if the Fed raises the rates, it's not going to be like for like, but still an indirect correlation.
I was first licensed in February of '93, and I remember specifically saying to my clients, anything under 8 is great.
Yeah.
It rolled right around that 7 7/8 to 8 1/4 for a couple of years, and if you can get anything under 8, it was almost like free money, and then it goes down to 2-3%.
Unreal.
People get in their mindset that that's what rates should be. And
I know.
Really, it's free money.
Yeah.
anything under 8, I still feel is great.
Yeah,
And
I
we're
mean,
still under 8.
and you can still get. I mean, if it's something where you're like, gosh, I can't afford. I'm not prepared to do that 5 to 6% rate. You have other options. We can look at a short-term loan. We can look at an ARM loan. I'm very diligent. I watch all. I mean, granted, I can't watch 2,000 clients all at once, but I have systems in place that can help do that for me. So it's something where if we're going to get you into something now, you're going to have an opportunity later too.
And you get in now, you're not fighting with people over the properties.
Absolutely.
More options.
And you have more options. And then when the rates do come down, you've got some equity.
Yeah.
Either way, especially in Arizona, we're going to see that appreciation continue, I feel.
Yeah.
Just with the new jobs coming in, I think it was 700,000 over the next 5 years?
I don't know exactly, but you hear a lot of numbers, and you hear anything between 300 and 400, 500 people moving to Arizona every single day.
Yeah.
But last year alone, we had a 29% in Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek area, 29 to 35% anywhere in there appreciation year over year, just last year.
Yeah.
So something had to give.
Yes.
Crazy. Yeah, you do have a whole bunch of jobs coming in that big old semiconductor company building, so
Yeah.
that'll be huge.
And
Casa Grande.
tech hubs. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then-
Everyone loves Arizona for a tech company.
And then they find out there's no water.
Right, I know, exactly.
But this is given the supply a chance to increase. So later, when
Yes.
everybody tries to get back in, we'll have more to choose from.
I'm very
That's right.
grateful for those buyers because I mean, just offhand, I think I was talking to you the other day, and I easily 20 to upwards of 50 conservatively within the last 18 months that just are like, I give up. I
Yeah.
can't win against these investors, and now finally
Yeah.
they're going to get a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have an opportunity.
Yeah, you even see the builders offering incentives now.
Yeah.
We had a realtor, like I said, we've got 230 realtors, and we had a realtor that come in my office the other day. I think I told you this, Sarah, that she's been licensed about 4 or 5 years. It's good to see you, Jeff. Yeah. She's been licensed about 4 or 5 years, and she said it's the first time that she sold a listing less than asking price.
Huh.
Because it's always been
Over.
accelerated. Everybody's been bidding up. So, like, hypothetically, she had it listed for 500 and sold it for 475. It's the first time she's ever done that.
Wow.
And that's really what I'm accustomed to. That's where I, come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a normal market.
That's a normal
Right, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think even for sellers too, I don't think it's oh no, I missed my chance, because it's if you weren't ready at the time, then it wasn't going to happen anyway. So
Yeah.
now's always the time.
Well, I think it's a wake-up call now because
It is.
they're thinking that their home is still. I mean, I guess that's in the normal market too.
But yeah, everybody thinks their house is
Their
worth
house
about
more, but
50.
even more today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just saw one of the builders is offering 5% co-broks.
Really?
So they're really trying to get us back in there.
Yeah, they're trying to make up for the whole "I'm not
Yeah.
going to pay you anything."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Realtors remember that, too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
do
we
remember
do.
that.
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised how quick it changed? I mean, don't you feel like it's happened fairly quickly
I feel like it
over the
happened
last
overnight.
couple months?
Yeah.
I agree.
Extremely quick.
The
Yeah.
feds can put brakes on it, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
watching
it's a
the
good
Crawford,
question.
report. I watch that every week. Security Title puts out the Crawford report every Monday, or has Tina on, and it just seems like each week, she's like, "Well, I got some bad news," and now she's to the point where it seems like she doesn't want to predict anything out past like the next week or so.
It's
Because
true. Yeah, because
so fast.
yeah, as an I never want to say I'm an expert because I always have something to learn. But with the experience I have, I'm very delicate and careful with making definitive statements, because just as we've seen, again, with the pandemic and within the last couple of months and within the last couple of weeks, it's really about education, not this. I'm not a no crystal ball.
Yeah, we had an office meeting a couple days ago, and we had 30, 40 realtors there because people are chomping at the bit to get out. Conversely, there's realtors that have become comfortable working from their house, and they've got to kind of get a little push to get out. But it was good to see people. It's good to see people engaging again. It's good to see realtors coming to the classes and not doing it all by Zoom.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you get belly to belly again. There's a lot of energy in that, and then we can all grow. Somebody will ask a question, and somebody else will pick up an answer because of the answer that somebody answered, how they answered. Somebody else will learn from that and think, I didn't even think about asking that. So
Absolutely.
it's nice to see
each
the
other
realtors engage again.
see what someone else is doing and try to adopt it into your business.
Like your shirt, Tony. I love your shirt.
Thank
It's a
you,
nice
Mike.
shirt.
That's awfully nice.
And if we weren't sitting here together, I never would have saw your shirt.
Exactly.
Well, if I knew Jeff was going to wear a Kansas City hat, I would have worn my Tennessee Titans shirt.
Yep. They've got a good team too.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they do.
And we play
Absolutely.
you guys
Absolutely.
again this year.
So, Tony, Mike, if agents in your office come to you and say, "Hey, it's slowed quite a bit for me," what's something that you think agents need to do right now in today's market to re-engage or to get that business going?
Excuse me, I use the term adjust your sales, and usually I would say hold off before you adjust your sales, but a lot of times realtors wait too long to adjust their sales.
Yeah.
They're getting hit in the face with reality of what the market's doing instead of anticipating what the market is doing. And when you surround yourself with really great people like Jeremy and Sue from security, or Sarah and Mark and Steve and Judy from Starboard, we get together, we talk about what to anticipate. What are you seeing in the industry? If I sat next to my twin, I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to learn anything. I'm not going to get anything that I don't already know. So I would tell the realtors, the pros at ProSmart Realty, hear this all the time. Make sure you surround yourself with people that you love and trust, people that you can count on to give you honest feedback so you can adjust your sales at the right time and in the right direction so you can anticipate what's going to happen. Instead of waiting to get hit in the face with reality and it's already passed you by, and then you're trying to catch up. And I think a lot of realtors are reactionary that way. LOs too.
Absolutely. You can't wait for the phone to ring. You have to. If I don't have the phone ringing immediately, then I'm reaching out to a client maybe that I haven't spoken with in a while. Even if it's just for a conversation, it's top of mind. It's keeping people remembering what you do. And regardless, you're here to help. And sometimes it's really just, hey, do you think I should do a cash out refi? And well, what's your rate right now? Oh, you're 2%? No, I want to do what's best for you, not what's best for my paycheck. So
That's good. So just to dig into that a little bit more, when you say adjust your sales, is that talking to buyer and seller agents, who I guess both?
Well, it's a good question because realtors might just be working with sellers.
Yeah.
And if they did that and never adjusted their sales, they don't have any buyers in their back pocket. So there are realtors that primarily work with buyers or sellers, but like I said in an office meeting we had the other day, those realtors that are still advertising in the yellow pages really have missed the boat 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So stay current, doing podcasts like this or getting out there and getting belly to belly at these office meetings again, finding out what other realtors or loan officers are doing in your respective industries, and tweaking it to yourself and to what you anticipate. So if you go to a good mastermind, which I've gone to the same mastermind group for over 20 years, and I respect all those guys and gals, and we talk about what's working and what can you do to improve your business, and also this is what we've done in the past, and make sure that you don't do it because this wasn't successful.
Yeah.
So we try and see, the best indicator of the future is looking at the past, and I think Sarah was briefly touching on that earlier. Nobody could tell the future, but if this happens and this happens and then this happens, we know that this right here will probably happen next. So we know that it's now more of a buyer's market than it is a seller's market, so the realtors really should be focusing on that at the time. And that's as far as I'm concerned, staying in touch with your sphere, staying personal, like what Sarah was talking about. Hey, how have you been? I really, thank you for the business back in 2018 because it was a tough time for me, but you guys stuck with me, and I just want to thank you. And then before you know it, they're sending you referrals.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep. Well, hopefully people in the industry, both lending and real estate, put some money aside for potential slowdown, right?
Yeah, you should.
Yes.
They should, but there's
That's
realtors
one of the
that,
things they should teach you when you get in this business.
there's a lot of realtors that make a lot of money in the downside. That they focus on that. And so whether the market's going up or down, there's always opportunity there in the real estate world, especially in Arizona.
it's ebb and flow. I think you take those times that slow down a little bit to reevaluate, see what has been working, what hasn't been working, and take that as an opportunity to ramp up even more. That's the way I kind of look at it. So if I'm not closing 50 deals this month, if I've got half that, well, then let me work on those things that maybe I didn't have the time to do before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's an opportunity.
It's definitely a wake-up call because you've got the last couple years where it was all seller, right?
Yeah.
Get as much as you can, and the ones who just came into the business are probably thinking, oh man, I got this in the bag. But then now that reality hits and it's normal, they're going to be like, oh, what do I do?
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned that. And same thing in the lending industry, too. I spoke with someone just the other day, and the person that had referred them said, well, he used to be a loan officer, and so that's why I didn't refer them initially. But then when I got to talking with him, I'm like, well, what are you doing now? He's like, oh, I work for Cox Communications. I was like, oh, okay, well, how long have you been there? About 6 months. I said, well, what were you doing before? Well, I was a loan officer for about 12 months.
Yeah.
And then before that, I was doing something else. So it's that that unique time where if a lot of people got into it when the market was hot, and what I think is going to define success too is, can you capitalize when it's a little bit slower?
Yeah.
So
I remember getting into it in 2002. I was a loan officer myself.
Yeah.
And that was when refinances were like hot.
Yes.
And I was like, why wasn't I doing this before? Because I got out of corporate and I was making, 6 figures right away for the first year. And I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then when refi stopped, I was like, okay, what do I do?
And that's the key is, what do I do? Not, okay, well, that was it. I got to do something else now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Getting laid off right now.
Yeah.
A lot of loan officers
I
getting laid
know.
off.
It's sad.
I'm sure.
But
Well,
Along the same
from what
lines.
I understand, a lot of agents, what was it, Joey? We had somebody on a couple weeks ago, and I thought they said the numbers of active agents in Phoenix had gone down like 24,000 so far since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I remember that number, but is that right?
No,
Does that sound right?
it's not.
Yeah, 24,000.
That's what somebody shared, so I don't know for
That's
sure.
almost 50% of all.
Yeah,
realtors.
exactly.
But you know what we are seeing, and I meet with my team every week, and Tony compiles these numbers. Tony pointed out a couple weeks ago, and we've been following this, that we're still doing the same amount of transactions. It's just a diverse group doing them. It's not the same 3 or 4 realtors doing the big volume.
Yeah.
They're still active, but they're doing fewer transactions. But we have a more diverse sect of realtors that are doing transactions as well now. So those realtors, I think, struggled in the up market when things were really, really hot, but they excel and they do better when things correct a little bit and slow down.
Yeah.
So that's nice to see that more realtors are involved. So our volume number is still the same. It's just we're having a more diverse group of realtors doing those transactions.
that's great.
Yeah, that's really great, Mike. So what are you telling them today? I mean, what is it that you're telling them, like at this meeting? How are you suggesting people reconnect with their database, or do a lot of your agents keep a database, stay in front of them?
They should, of course.
Hopefully.
and I'm certainly old school, so I'm all relationship based. And if there's realtors out there that are not relationship based, they come and go.
Yeah.
That you get these hot moments of these newest tool or this greatest idea, and it seems to take off fast and hard, and then it eventually does come back and slow down. But one thing you can always rely on is the relationships that you've built over the years. You can lean on those people, and those people refer you out. It's when you do it the other way, you have to reestablish those relationships all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you've already got people that know and love you. Capitalize off that, and you're capitalizing off it by taking care of those people. So they're capitalizing on it also. They know that they can lean on you to make sure that they get the best deal, that you introduce them to the best loan officer, that you take them to the best title company, and you're going to hold their hand during the entire transaction. And then when they're happy, they'll refer you out to other buyers or sellers, who's their sphere, their friends and family. And that's really, I've pushed that in my 29 years of real estate. I've lived by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's real big on your staying in touch with your sphere, and especially right now, because you can reach out, reestablish those relationships, let them know, and you sometimes will connect with them at just the right time, where they might have a family member or a friend who has been talking to them and asking about their experience, and now you've put yourself right in front of them again, so they want to put your name out there and pass you on to all their friends. And so that's the way you keep things going right now when things get tough.
Yeah, all realtors are different. All realtors take a separate approach. The younger guys are turn and burn, boom, boom, boom. So not everybody's going to agree with what I say, but the one thing that every single realtor will agree with, and I mean hands down, every single one will agree with me on, nothing chaps their hide more than a family or friend buying or selling a house with somebody
Yep.
else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you didn't stay in touch with them. You didn't stay in front of them, and
Yeah, you
this
take it personally.
yeah,
Yeah.
This other person did stay in front of them. This other person did take care of them. You can't blame them. I mean, if you're not active, then the opposite of in is out. So if you're not in the game, you're out of the game.
Yeah, and relationships, as you were saying, in my opinion, is the foundation of growing your business, right? When we used to teach video marketing, they used to ask, oh, so this is all we need to do. No, you still need to be belly to belly, pick up the phone, write personal notes, and send them off. And, you know, that'll definitely help you grow your business. And no matter what market it is, whether it's up, down, buyer, seller, the relationship is still going to be the strongest marketing tool that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's why we've got such a strong relationship with security.
Yeah.
That's why we've got such a strong relationship with Starboard. I mean, it's just not the buyer or the seller buying or selling the house, but if there's a buyer out there and they run into Sarah and they say, oh, you know, I love Mike Schweikardt. Well, I mean, that's those two talking. That's passive marketing as far as I'm concerned. You take care of those people around you and the word spreads, and that's really how ProSmart's grown, because we've never recruited, we've never marketed, we just truly grown on our values.
Awesome.
Because we take care of people,
Sure.
and then they reach out to people they know who are in the business, and they say, what do you like about ProSmart? And they explain all the things that we do that they like, and then they end up bringing all their friends and other agents over.
Yeah, that's the best way to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People remember how you make them feel. That's the key. And again, it's not the most financially specific, or if you do X, Y, Z, then you're going to be a millionaire. If you lead with your heart, people feel that.
Sure.
And again, I know that's very sentimental, and it's like, oh, okay,
No, it's so true.
But it
That's
is.
so
that's
true.
all
People
Mike. Mike's
feel-
very
yeah.
sentimental. And everything is his heart. He gives everything to you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I agree.
Mike never saves anything for the swim back, too.
That's
Like,
right. Yeah. You know, I remember early on in my real estate career, I had this one client that I heard him over say to somebody else, I will never use anybody else but Mike Schweikardt. And I thought at the time, oh my God, I got to step up my game. I better perform, because I don't want to let this guy down, you know. But there's nothing better than that. When somebody else is going to bat for you, you know, you're on the right path.
My grandpa always used to say, be the type of person that if there's anyone out there that ever spoke ill of you, no one would ever believe them. And that's what I've really,
Yeah.
you know,
That's good.
of that and many other quips and quotes that he had. You know, so,
Yeah, no, that's great.
yeah.
I'm curious. So I know sellers right now probably are thinking, I still want to price my house really high, right? I mean, some of them probably are thinking that just based on what's happened the last year. So how's that conversation go? I mean, how do you break it to a seller if that seller's saying, well, I want to list it at X, and you're like, well, we need to be at Y in today's market?
Very good question, because a lot of realtors are dealing with that right now.
Yep.
And when I meet with sellers, if they come across as unreasonable with these false expectations, the house across the street sold for $600,000. I should be able to get that for mine. Then we look at the square footage, and that house across the street was probably twice the size of the one that we're standing in. Then you don't want to use that as a comp. You don't want to use that in your CMA, because that could actually work against you. But you really are verbally putting your arm around their shoulders and saying, okay, well, why is it why do you think it's worth this much? Then the seller says, because I have to pay off these 2 credit cards and I got to pay off this car, but that doesn't add value to the house.
No.
That's what they want the net proceeds for,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that your house is worth $1.2 million. So let's go over the comps. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the real numbers, because appraisers are going to look at what they sold for, not what they're listed for. Now, we can list it for $5 million, but your house is really worth $618. We could start a little high, maybe be flexible when an offer comes in, or list it right where it should be and be firm when an offer comes in. So there's 2 ways to list it.
Yeah.
But you really got to look at the numbers of the recent past, because that's what the appraisers are going to look at as well. So really, if a seller is saying that they want this much for their house, you ask them why and see what they say, and then just have a conversation with them about the facts.
So with that, though, well, maybe not the last exact 3 months, but if we went back 3 months, because normally when we pull comps, right, we do 3 to 6 months back. Well, 6 months, they're still kind of inflated.
Yeah.
So when you go to the buyer and you don't normally say, okay, here are the comps today, because you know some of them are way high. So how would you suggest we then go and say, well, you know, the market is going down, here's what the numbers look like, and we should probably place it here?
Well, the way I'm going to answer that is a very good nugget for all the realtors that are going to listen to this. I encourage them to maybe sometimes go a little high because then I'm a hero and they'll use me and refer me out.
Okay.
But let's be realistic. We can't go too high because if we go too high, we're going to be pricing ourselves out of the market.
That's right.
So we've got to really look at the facts of what has sold recently. And that's the best indicator of what's going to happen right in the near future. If you go back, I look at it as time and space. Einstein's there. Everything's got time and space. So when you do comps, you're going to go back 6 months, but in what space? You're going to look in the subdivision.
Yeah, in the subdivision.
And if there's nothing that's really, horse property is an anomaly almost, because then you got to kind of go outside that time and space. And appraisals will do the same sometimes. They'll get an exception because there's no other property similar to that one except for outside the subdivision or something that's 7 months back, time and space again. So really what you're trying to do is stay inside that subdivision and look what everybody else is sold for, not what they're listed for, sold for.
Yeah.
And that's the best indicator for what's going to happen in the future.
All right. It's good.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This one's for Tony.
Uh-oh.
Go Chiefs.
We'll hang up on him right now.
It was nice talking to you, Jeff.
No, I was curious. So we're moving into the second half of this year. I know we can't predict what's going to happen, but how are you positioning your business, or any of you, for this second half? With what we've seen in the first half.
Well, yeah, I have discussions. Like I had a discussion with Sarah the other day. I have a client that fell out because the interest rate jumped. I was writing the offer the day the interest rates went up, and because of how much they went up, my client no longer qualified.
Oh, no.
So I had to reach out to my partners to see if there was anything we could do to help things along. Now, all we've been hearing for the last couple of weeks is 6%, 6%, 6%. But when I reached out to Sarah, she said, well, they're actually like 5.8. Well, that's not a lot, but it helps. It helps get us closer to where my client can be able to get what they're looking for. And so you lean on your partners, stay in touch with your clients. If you've got people that stopped looking because they're frustrated, you got to reach out to them, let them know, hey, the rates are a little higher, but we can still get you into something. And then when the rates come back down, then you can refi it and get the payment back down to where you hoped it would be. So just little things like that. Your partners are big. That's what, like Mike said, we play off each other. We reach out to each other to make sure that, maybe they're seeing something that I don't see. And there's a way that they can help. And so we lean on everybody, and we reach out to the past people, because we all have a big handful of people that we drove around for 2 months, wrote 12 offers for, and ended up getting nothing, and they're gone now. So we got to keep in touch with them and get back in there and let them know, hey, things have stabilized a little bit as far as the prices going up, and the interest rates are higher, but we might be able to do this for you. So,
but with a great partner like Starboard, they have unique products for new builds too.
Yeah.
And if we did not have that relationship, we wouldn't even probably know that.
Yeah.
And we could pass that information along to the buyer.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what are the new build programs?
So we can
Like longer lock periods and stuff?
We can do, yep, absolutely. So we have longer lock periods. We can lock up to 270 days, and it's applicable to the rate. So if you've got somebody that is just starting on a new build, it's not going to be built for 12 months, and let's say maybe the rates have dropped by that point. It's a win-win for them. So they've got their rate locked in at the highest it could possibly be, but automatic float down once we're ready to close.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the cost on that? Like half a point?
It depends on how long you're locking it. Usually, yeah. So if you're doing like a 90 to 120 days, it can be about a half a point. If you're going up to 270, then a point. But again, applicable to the rate. So if when they're ready to close,
And if it doesn't change,
they're still, so if it goes up to 10%, they're still set at 5 7/8 or 6%. Or
but they
depending on
don't get that 1 point back.
No,
Okay,
no.
just curious.
Yeah, that's applicable to, that's a lot of risk on our part.
I'm sure.
Oh, he's asking for himself.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
he's an investor.
We do have someone right now that is slotted to close, I want to say in November, and they're locked at 4.5.
Wow. Good
So,
for them.
yes, exactly. Good for them. Maybe not for us, but they're taken care of, which is what's most important.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And you're forming that relationship.
exactly.
And then
Yep.
they'll refer you out.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's all about relationships.
If your name is Joey, it's 2 points.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say.
That's your new nickname, Joey 2 Points.
That's right.
2.0. There you go.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anything else you guys want to share before we move to the final segment here?
Nah, I'm good. I just had a long night. I'm off. I've been off my diet for 2 days, so I'm kind of pickled.
Oh,
So I'm just hanging on the coattails of these two right now.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Well, we can jump right in. We're going to do some rapid fire real quick, and then we'll be finished up. All right, so let's
Cool.
get in the ring. You ready?
Ready?
do it.
What do we do?
All right, here we go.
All right.
So rapid fire, you can, whoever wants to answer can answer. You can all three answer. However you want to do it, it's fine with us.
Cool.
What do you think one reason is that many agents are not successful?
I think a lot of
Reactionary.
agents got into this business when things were going great, and they feel that all I got to do is get my license and I'm going to be rich.
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it works, right?
And then they get in here, and then they go, "Wow, this is really work.
yeah.
I can't take the weekends off and spend time with my family. I can't have a nice, pleasant dinner because people are calling me because they have questions or they need something from me. Hey, honey, let's go on vacation."
Tony, this is rapid
Yeah.
fire,
Yeah.
Oh,
brother.
I'm sorry, am I taking too long?
It's like grenade.
I think realtors are a lot of reactionary.
Yeah.
They're more proactive instead of reactive. I think that help their
Proactive and
business.
reactive.
Yeah. If you're not tired, you're not working.
Well said.
We opened up a can of worms with Tony on that.
He takes
And
the ball
I'm
and
usually
runs.
quiet.
How about a book recommendation? Anyone?
Can't Hurt Me. Goggins.
Can't
All
hurt
right.
me. Okay.
Everybody should read that book. I just got that
You
for
gotta
you.
read
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. I just dropped it
Can't
off.
hurt me.
Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. Probably the best book I ever read.
Wow.
All right. Anybody else?
I'm always more fiction, so I don't know if it's more motivational per se, but if I have to go with something motivational, and again, super, super cliche, but it's the kind of going off of The Secret. It's all your mental perspective. So again, maybe not so ethereal as that book can be, but I do draw a lot from that. I think it's it's your mindset. It's always got to be positive, and this is what I'm going to do. I have my, and I know this is rapid, but I have my, and I'll let you in on a little secret, and it's so cheesy, but I have my little mantras. I'm like, all right, today, 50 homes, 50 loans, 50 families. That's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And every single day as I'm, getting ready for work, as I'm driving, that's what I'm thinking. Or I've got my songs to the tune of Grease.
Really?
I got loans. They're multiplying.
That's good.
So,
And I'm loose.
no, and I am in control. That's how I change
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, and I am in control. So, yeah.
Next
That's
show,
funny.
you're going to be singing that.
Oh, God. I'll take some voice lessons. Prepare myself.
It's radio.
Was that
They can
We Have
adjust it.
Loans?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
What's that?
Did you say We Have Loans?
Yes.
I got loans, yeah. They're
loans,
multiplying.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to the tune of
that's
Grease.
what I thought.
Yeah.
When things got really bad, I thought that the song was, "How do I get you a loan?"
I like it.
Anyway, all right. I need to hit the drum set on that one. All right. How about this question? Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. T. Tony just converted. I've been trying to get him to convert for you.
I've been newly converted.
Nice.
I'm still struggling with some things.
You know, there's nothing wrong with Android. Android is awesome. So,
I feel the same way,
that's right.
but
You got
I didn't
pressure.
want to be left out of the club. So I
Well,
had to
don't
get
worry,
in.
it's you and I.
There you go.
Joey's always alone on that one.
I
Aw,
am, usually.
Poor Joey.
All right. Last thing too. If you won a trip to anywhere and you had to leave tomorrow, where would you go and why?
Ooh. I'd say Antigua because I have friends there and I already got a place to stay.
Nice.
So,
Machu Picchu.
yeah.
Machu
That's right,
Picchu.
Joe.
That's the little or mountain
Yeah.
that they climb, right?
Yeah, I'd go up there and
That'd be cool.
I'd get lost in the world up there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's on our list too.
Tony, you go to Elmer's down South Chandler, right?
They're so good.
They are.
I live right down the
Right there.
street. Oh man, we'll go.
That's our go-to.
Yes.
Elmer's. What is Elmer's? I've never been.
What is Elmer's?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're from Chandler, you know Elmer's. But
Yeah,
it's
I'm
our
not from-
it's our place. I guess.
Taco place.
Oh, it's a taco place.
Downtown
So
Chandler.
good.
Right
Taco
across from
place.
Chandler High School.
Yeah.
Chandler
Okay.
Wolves.
Okay. Have to try that. Well, I have one last question before
Okay.
that's the last question.
Okay.
Okay.
Just well, this tells me how old you are. Okay.
I'll tell you how old I am.
What was your favorite band in high school?
Oh, geez, Tone. We were in high school. We went to all the concerts. Who's my
But you've
favorite?
changed on me over the years.
Well, yeah.
High school.
I mean,
High school.
But you still, I mean,
I'm still there.
I know. You just gave me a compliment, Tone. That's what you did. Favorite band in high school? Favorite band in high school? You know, my knee jerk was Zap with Roger, but it's not. But that's because I'm sitting next to Tony. It'd probably be the classics. You know, I've always been country.
Okay.
I've always been Beatles. I've always been old school rock and roll. So
cool.
CCR back then.
Well, you're not that old, are you?
I'll be 54 in September.
Okay. Well, looking pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
I've always been an old soul, so I went from some things that were current at the time, but loved Aerosmith.
All right.
Then, of course, you got to get a little bit into NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, but a little bit more TLC.
That's more your age,
Keith
right?
Sweat. Yeah, SWV. Very, very much.
R&B,
Yeah,
okay, that's
absolutely.
Awesome.
Right on.
That was me.
Everybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Prince fan.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've
Yeah,
been,
I just started
I've been
watching
with Prince since I was
Yeah.
in junior high. I'm not an emotional person, but I literally almost cried when he died.
Yeah.
It was that.
He's
Yeah.
talented.
Yes,
Very talented.
extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely. And I'm more old Prince. I'm more, say, 2000.
Is that
And
Revolution,
before.
Third Eye? Is it?
When he got into the newer stuff, and I think I'm probably going to get killed for this, but when he got more into the religion and stopped all the vulgarity in the music,
Yeah.
it wasn't as exciting
Oh,
for me.
no.
I have to say.
And you know, we went to go see Prince in the mid to early '80s together,
wow.
and then Prince came back to Arizona 40 years later, and then Tony and I went and saw him again.
Yeah.
And remember, I even drummed up one of them old T-shirts. I found it somewhere,
Awesome.
like on eBay from our
Yeah.
original, the original time we went. So yeah, good
I think for
times.
you, I would say it's more, it lost maybe, not a little bit of authenticity and like spontaneity and realness and rawness. That's what I would say for you is why it changed. Not so much the dichotomy
No,
between
it wasn't
the two. But
just because
yeah,
he wasn't vulgar anymore. It was something in the music
Yeah.
that was a little different.
it was
I
raw
think I
emotion.
liked the shock factor.
Yeah.
You hear something
whoa.
and people go, "What is he talking about?" Oh, I can't tell you that.
If you know, you know.
Well said, Sarah.
Thank you.
Now my kids are like, "I used to sing that song with you. I can't believe that's what it was about."
And your mother used to jog with that T-shirt on. She remembers on that shirt.
That's funny. Well, thank you all for being in here
Oh,
today.
thank you. That was awesome.
Really good to
Jeff,
see
give
you
a
again,
big shout
Jeff.
out to Security Title Agency and Fidelity National Home Warranty, sponsors of the show. So, agents, if you haven't tried them, give them a shot.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks
All right.
so
Well, thank you all
Nice
for
to
being
meet
in
you, Joe.
again. It's
Yes,
fun.
yes.
And agents, we will see you later.
Adios. Great job, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.